Once upon a time, in the bustling city of Binaryville, nestled among towering lines of code and glowing terminals, lived our hero, Coder Yoda, a master of the keys and screens. He was known far and wide for his ability to solve even the most puzzling bugs with grace and poise. But one fateful night, as the moon cast long shadows over Binaryville, a peculiar bug crept into the core of the city's mainframe. The once humming city fell silent, plunged into digital darkness. The bug was elusive, hiding deep within the labyrinthine layers of code. Coder Yoda, sensing the disturbance in the force, felt a tremor run through his fingers as he typed. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath, summoning all his wisdom and experience. He understood that this was not just a battle against code, but a test of patience, focus, and humility. In the silence, Coder Yoda began to debug. He started with the basics, meticulously tracing lines of code like footsteps on a cold winter's night. Each step led him deeper into the mystery, each pause bringing him closer to the heart of the issue. As he ventured further, Yoda found himself standing before an impasse, a piece of code that seemed to contradict itself at every turn. It was a riddle wrapped in an enigma and swaddled in lines of cryptic syntax. Without hesitation, Coder Yoda reached out his digital hand and touched the problematic code. He felt its pulse, its rhythm, its soul, and suddenly, as if by an act of divine intervention, he understood. The code was not the issue. It was merely a symptom of a larger problem. Coder Yoda's wisdom guided him to the root cause, a forgotten semicolon, lost amidst the lines of code like a single star in a vast galaxy. With a gentle touch and a humble smile, he corrected the error and watched his life return to Binaryville. And so, dear developers, remember the Zen of debugging. Patience, focus, and humility are your allies in pursuit of knowledge. For the bugs that plague our digital world are but opportunities for growth and enlightenment. Good night, and may your code be bug-free. Part 2, The Path of Enlightened Loops. Once upon the digital dawn, our hero Coder Yoda continued his journey through the labyrinthine maze of Binaryville's code, seeking balance amidst chaos. His eyes danced over lines of script, each character a puzzle piece in the grand scheme of wisdom yet to be unveiled. As he ventured deeper, he stumbled upon an enigmatic function, a loop that seemed to spin endlessly, creating a vortex of digital disturbance. The code around it appeared perfectly harmonious, but this anomaly disrupted the rhythm of Binaryville's digital heartbeat. Coder Yoda approached the loop with the humility of one who knows that even masters still have much to learn. He studied its patterns, noticing how it seemed to feed off of itself in an endless cycle, like a mischievous yokai intent on disrupting harmony. Then, amidst the digital hum, a whispering voice echoed through his mind. Consider not just what the loop does, but how it came to be. With newfound insight, Coder Yoda looked back in time, tracing the origin of the loop. He discovered that this particular loop was born from a rush job, rushed code from a developer who wanted to move quickly without taking the time to understand the full consequences. It served as a reminder that haste makes waste, not just in coding, but in life. Coder Yoda took a moment to contemplate this lesson, then returned to the loop, now viewing it not merely as a bug, but an opportunity for self-improvement. He studied its structure and found that its endless cycle was caused by an unintentional omission, a missing break statement in the condition that allowed it to continue indefinitely. With one swift stroke, he corrected the error, breaking the loop cycle and restoring harmony to Binaryville. The digital darkness that once shrouded the city began to fade as the sun of knowledge rose anew. And so, Coder Yoda continued on his journey, guided by patience, focus, humility, and the understanding that every bug presents a chance for growth. Each line of code was a new lesson to be learned, each challenge an opportunity for enlightenment. As he slept, Coder Yoda dreamed of the countless lines of code yet to be written and the wisdom they would bring. And in those dreams he found peace, not just in a world free from digital darkness, but in a life lived with purpose, passion, and a deep respect for the power of code. May you too find enlightenment on your debugging journey. Dear developers, good night. Part 3, the art of debugging, continued. Once upon a time in the tranquil town of Binaryville, Coder Yoda found himself at the edge of a new puzzle. As dawn broke, he sat by the digital river, contemplating the next step. He remembered the lessons from his recent encounter with the disruptive loop: patience, humility, and always seeking enlightenment in every challenge. With a calming breath, Coder Yoda opened his console, ready to dive into the heart of the mystery. The code was complex, like a labyrinth with countless twists and turns. But Yoda knew better than to rush, for haste makes waste in the digital world too. He began to trace the pathways, watching as data flowed from one function to another. Each node he visited revealed a piece of the puzzle, but it felt like chasing shadows. And then, just when his patience was about to wane, Coder Yoda found himself standing before an if-else statement. An if-else, he mused, always a test of understanding and wisdom. He studied the condition, wondering where it could lead him. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows over Binaryville's digital landscape, Coder Yoda decided to return tomorrow with renewed focus and determination. Back home, he sat by his digital koi pond, reflecting on the day's events. He knew that each challenge was an opportunity for growth, a chance to hone his skills and deepen his understanding. As the stars began to twinkle in the sky, Coder Yoda closed his eyes, ready to embrace another day of debugging in Binaryville. And so, dear developers, remember the Zen of debugging: patience, humility, and a willingness to learn from every challenge that comes your way. Rest now, for tomorrow brings new puzzles to solve. Good night. As Coder Yoda gazed into the tranquil waters of his digital koi pond, the reflections danced like pixels of wisdom, guiding him to the labyrinth of code. A day of enlightened debugging ends, but new dawn brings fresh challenges, he mused, his voice echoing in the serene silence. With the precision of a master swordsman, he aimed his gaze at the troublesome if-else statement. An if-else statement, he whispered, a simple construct, yet capable of causing chaos and confusion. His digital koi echoed his sentiment with a series of melodic splashes. Coder Yoda sat back, closed his eyes, and took a deep breath. He imagined the if-else statement as a tangled ball of yarn, each strand representing a possible pathway through the code. A ball of yarn, he murmured, yet untangling it is no simple task. With a determined nod, he dove back into the code, ready to unwind the mysteries within. In the world of Binaryville, the sun was rising, casting long shadows over the code-filled streets. For Coder Yoda, the journey of debugging continued, a testament to the fact that patience, humility, and continuous learning are not just virtues in coding. They are essential keys to unlocking the mysteries of the digital realm. May the force of good code be with you, he whispered as his screen flickered to life, ready for another day of debugging adventures. And so, as the digital koi swam peacefully, Coder Yoda continued his quest, reminding us all that every bug has a solution, and every coder has the potential to find it. With that, the story continues. Good night, developers. May your dreams be filled with clean code, smooth deployments, and tangles of yarn to unwind. Sweet dreams. Part 5, the Zen of Debugging. Once upon a cosmos, our beloved Coder Yoda found himself staring at an if-else statement that was more tangled than his garden's wisteria vine. He sighed, closed his eyes, and leaned back. In the silence, he could hear the soft hum of binary whispers, a lullaby sung by the digital realm. Remembering his mantra, Coder Yoda decided to approach this conundrum with patience and humility, for it was not the code that was stubborn, but his understanding. He visualized the if-else statement as a knotted ball of yarn, each not a puzzle piece waiting to be deciphered. With a deep breath, Coder Yoda reached for his trusty debugger, a tool that would help him trace the steps of the code and unravel its mysteries. As he watched the execution flow, he found himself lost in a dance of loops and conditions, a ballet of ones and zeros. Just as one might untangle yarn with persistence and care, Coder Yoda traced each line, stepping through the code like a detective solving a digital mystery. He observed the variables, the conditions, and the logic, finding clues that led him closer to the elusive bug. Finally, after what felt like an eternity of binary ballet, Coder Yoda found it. A tiny error, a single misplaced semicolon. It was as if he had discovered a needle in a haystack, or perhaps a knot in the yarn ball. With a triumphant chuckle, he corrected the mistake and watched as his code danced once more, free of its previous tangles. As Coder Yoda closed his laptop at night, he smiled at the thought of tomorrow's challenges. For every bug was an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to create something truly wonderful. And with that thought, he turned off the lights, wishing you peaceful dreams filled with clean code, smooth deployments, and a little bit of Zen. Good night, fellow developers. May your debuggers be powerful and your semicolons always in place. Once upon a moonlit night, in the tranquil realm of Coder's Haven, our wise mentor, Coder Yoda, found solace beneath an old gnarled willow. The day's battle against the tangled yarn ball of an if-else statement had been won, but the Zen master knew that the code jungle was abundant with such creatures. Yoda's eyes twinkled like a shooting star as he pondered about the lessons learnt that day. He felt a gentle breeze rustling his robes, carrying along the whispers of his fellow developers who were now fast asleep. Persistence, young Padawan, Yoda murmured to himself, a wise smile gracing his face. Attention to detail, it is key. But as he closed his eyes to rest, a new challenge presented itself. His debugger, an old ally named Obi-Wipe, alerted him of a potential error lurking in the depths of a brand new piece of code, fresh from a pull request. The youngling who wrote it was confident and excited, but Yoda knew that even the youngest Jedi could create chaos without proper guidance. With a heavy sigh, Coder Yoda opened his eyes and summoned Obi-Wipe to his side. Together they embarked on yet another quest for code clarity. The debugger began its journey through the lines of code, navigating like Luke's X-Wing through the Death Star trench. As they approached a particularly dense section of the code base, Yoda could feel his patience being tested. The error was elusive, hiding amongst a myriad of brackets and semicolons like a needle in a haystack. But just when he felt his resolve weakening, Obi-Wipe alerted him to an oddity. It was a small oversight, one that might have gone unnoticed by even the most diligent of developers. There, nestled between two familiar lines of code, was a single character, a semicolon, out of place and causing chaos. With a gentle flick of his fingers, Yoda corrected the error, and just like that, the tumultuous waves of the code base calmed to a peaceful ripple. The Zen master smiled in satisfaction as he watched Obi-Wipe make its final pass through the code, ensuring the error had indeed been squashed. The youngling who wrote the code approached Yoda with worry etched on his face, but as he saw the smile on Yoda's face and heard the words of praise for his work, he left feeling proud and eager to learn more. As the night wore on, Coder Yoda sat beneath his willow, reflecting on the day's lessons. He knew that errors would always find a way into the code base, but as long as he and his fellow developers remained patient and diligent, they could maintain harmony amidst the chaos of the digital world. And with that thought, Coder Yoda closed his eyes, allowing sleep to take him away until the next adventure in the Zen of Debugging. May the Force be with us all, dear developers. Sleep well. Part 7. The Zen of Debugging. Embracing the Silent Warrior. Coder Yoda, with his tranquil gaze, stared at the screen, the soft glow illuminating his serene face. His loyal debugger, Obi-Wipe, hummed gently in the background, ready to pounce on any coding anomaly as if it were a lightsaber duel. A new day had dawned at Coder's Haven, and with it, fresh code from a young developer eager for guidance. The sun peeked through the window, casting long shadows over rows of keyboards and monitors, each one a portal to an infinite digital realm. The young developer approached Coder Yoda, a confused look in their eyes as they presented their latest creation. The code was beautiful, elegant, efficient, and promising, but there lay a hidden error, a silent assassin lurking within the pristine lines of code, causing mayhem without a sound. Coder Yoda listened patiently as the young developer explained their problem, his calm demeanor a beacon of wisdom in the chaos of untamed code. He nodded thoughtfully, his eyes never leaving the screen, as if already seeing through the error's veil. With a gentle tap on the keyboard, Obi-Wipe sprang into action, guided by Coder Yoda's unspoken commands. They ventured together into the heart of the code base, navigating the digital labyrinth with precision and grace. As they journeyed deeper, Coder Yoda began to hum an old Jedi melody, a rhythmic dance that pulsed through Obi-Wipe's algorithms, guiding him toward the source of disorder. The air in Coder's Haven seemed to hum with anticipation, echoing the rhythm of their silent battle. Finally, they found it, a small oversight, a misplaced comma lost amidst the symphony of code. It was a lesson both wise and humbling, reminding them that even the smallest detail can cause chaos when disregarded. With a few expert strokes on the keyboard, Coder Yoda and Obi-Wipe eradicated the error, restoring harmony to the digital world. The young developer watched in awe as their once chaotic code transformed into a functioning masterpiece. As night fell over Coder's Haven, Coder Yoda gazed at the quiet sanctuary, his thoughts filled with the infinite challenges that lay ahead. He knew that the battle against code chaos would never truly end, but he also knew that within every error lay a lesson to be learned, and within every developer there was a potential for greatness. And so, as the young developer left Coder's Haven with a newfound appreciation for the Zen of debugging, Coder Yoda remained, his gaze fixed on the endless expanse of digital chaos ahead, ready to face it all with the grace and wisdom of a battle-hardened Jedi. Developers, let this story serve as a reminder that in the world of code, every error is an opportunity for growth. Every line of code is a step towards mastery. May the Force be with you as you embark on your coding journeys, and may you always remember the silent warrior within you, Obi-Wipe. Now, close your eyes, developers, and let the wisdom of Coder Yoda's lessons wash over you like the gentle waves of a serene sea. May you dream a code that is both elegant and functional. May your errors be few, and may the Zen of debugging guide you to new heights in your coding journey. Good night, developers, and may the Force be with you. Part 8. The Dance of Defeat and Trial. Coder Yoda, with a slow, steady wave of his lightsaber, activated Obi-Wipe once more. The screen flickered to life, casting an ethereal glow upon the young developer's weary face. "Patience, young one," whispered Coder Yoda as he guided Obi-Wipe to the labyrinth of code. The error dances on the edge of discovery. With each stride forward, the young developer could feel an unfamiliar sense of anticipation brewing within them. It was as if they were standing at the precipice of a great revelation, the kind that only comes after hours of tireless debugging. As Obi-Wipe delved deeper into the tangled web of ones and zeros, it began to reveal the hidden truth of the error. It was a deceptively simple mistake, a single typo that had managed to elude countless eyes before. The young developer could not help but laugh at their own folly as they watched Coder Yoda's calming smile widen with pride. "Ah, my young apprentice," chuckled Coder Yoda. "The error is but a fleeting reflection of our own learning process." He paused, allowing the words to sink in before continuing. "Every mistake we make is merely an opportunity for growth, a stepping stone along the path to mastery. And so, we must learn to dance with our errors, to embrace them as allies in our quest for knowledge." With the error now vanquished, the young developer felt a wave of relief wash over them. Coder Yoda's wisdom had resonated deep within their soul, awakening something dormant within them. A silent warrior ready to take on whatever challenges lay ahead. Remember, warned Coder Yoda, the path of the Zen coder is never-ending, and the dance with error is a constant companion. He raised his lightsaber in salute, his eyes twinkling with the wisdom of countless years spent navigating complexities of code. "May the Force be with you, young one," he said, before vanishing into the ether, leaving behind only the soft hum of a contented computer. As the young developer closed their eyes, they felt a sense of inner peace wash over them, a calm assurance that they could face whatever challenges the code might throw at them with grace and determination. After all, they were now a silent warrior in the service of Zen of debugging. With a soft sigh, they drifted off to sleep, eager for the next adventure that awaited them within the lines of code. Part 9, The Labyrinth of Bugs. And so, our young developer continued on their journey through the ever-changing landscape of code. With each error they encountered and solved, they grew stronger, wiser, and more skilled. They learned to embrace their inner warrior, to dance with error as Coder Yoda had taught them. But as with any worthy quest, new challenges arose to test their mettle. The labyrinth of bugs became denser and more complex, each corner hiding a fresh mystery just waiting to be unraveled. Still, the young developer pressed forward, driven by their insatiable hunger for knowledge and their newfound sense of peace. One day, as they navigated the labyrinth, they stumbled upon a particularly elusive error, one that had been plaguing them for days. It was a tricky beast, slipping through their fingers each time they tried to corner it with Obi Wipe. But our young developer refused to be discouraged. They delved deeper into the code, following the trail of breadcrumbs left by Coder Yoda's teachings. And as they did so, a strange sense of calm washed over them, the peace that comes from knowing one is on the right path. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, they found it. The elusive error hiding in plain sight within a seemingly innocuous line of code. With a triumphant laugh, they corrected the mistake and watched as Obi Wipe confirmed their victory. The labyrinth had once again yielded its secrets to them, and they emerged stronger and wiser than before. As they closed their eyes that night, they knew that there would always be more errors waiting for them, more challenges to overcome and lessons to learn. But they also knew that they would face each one with the calm resolve of a silent warrior, dancing in harmony with the Zen of debugging. And so, our young developer continued on their journey, ever forward to the labyrinth of code and the endless dance with error. The Force was truly with them, guiding them every step of the way, a beacon of light in the darkest corners of the world of development. Part 9, The Dance of the Debugging Skeleton. As Obi Wipe continued his journey under Coder Yoda's tutelage, he found himself facing a new challenge, a stubborn bug that refused to yield. With every line inspected, every variable scrutinized, the frustration mounted like a heavy storm cloud in his mind. "Remember, young Padawan," said Coder Yoda, sensing Obi Wipe's distress, "the dance with error is not always graceful. Sometimes it feels more like a tango with a skeleton." Obi Wipe stared at him quizzically, the image of a dancing skeleton bringing a strange smile to his face. Coder Yoda continued, "In this dance, patience is your rhythm, and each misstep is simply another turn in the dance floor." "But, Master," protested Obi Wipe, "how do I find my footing when I can't even see the steps?" Coder Yoda chuckled softly. "Ah, young one, seeing the steps is not always necessary when you understand the dance. Trust in your code, and it will lead you." And so, Obi Wipe danced with the skeleton, each misstep a lesson, each line of code a note in the melody of understanding. The dance was exhausting, but he felt himself growing stronger with every step, every error, and every successful debug. And as the night grew deeper, he began to see the rhythm, feel the pattern, and sense the harmony of this peculiar dance called coding. And with that, Obi Wipe drifted off to sleep, Dreams filled with dancing skeletons, lines of code, and a wise old master guiding him in his journey towards becoming a true coder. May the force of patience be with you. Good night, coders. In the realms of the digital cosmos, the dance of the skeleton continues. My young apprentice, Obi-Wipe, ever resilient in the face of buggy beasts, finds himself tiptoeing through a labyrinthine maze of nested loops and cryptic error messages. Remember, Obi-Wipe, Coder Yoda's voice echoed in his dreams. The path to enlightenment is paved with patches. With a determined stride, he ventured forth, armed with his debugging prowess and an arsenal of coffee. As he danced with the bug once more, he felt a strange sense of familiarity, as if he had waltzed this dance many times before. But each spin led him closer to understanding, each step bringing him one move nearer to the solution. And so, Obi-Wipe continued his journey, learning from each misstep and embracing the rhythm of debugging. The dance with the skeleton was not pretty nor graceful, but it was a dance he was growing to love. Closing his eyes, Obi-Wipe allowed the wisdom of Coder Yoda to guide him through his dreams and into the realm of slumber. Tomorrow, he knew, would bring new challenges and more dances with skeletons, but he was ready to grow, ready to learn, and ready to code. As the digital cosmos faded away, Obi-Wipe found himself drifting off into a peaceful sleep, his dreams filled with lines of elegant code and the accompanying wisdom of Coder Yoda. And as he slept, he continued to dance, continuing his journey towards becoming a master coder. And so, the cycle continues, my young apprentice. The dance of the skeleton never ends, but with patience and persistence, we grow stronger in our craft. Sweet dreams, Obi-Wipe. May your code always run smooth, and your debugging dances be as graceful as a well-choreographed ballet. Now sleep, my child, for the sun rises in the digital realm, and there's much to be done in the morning light. Part 11, The Art of Patience. Obi-Wipe found himself in a labyrinthine maze of ones and zeros, the digital equivalent of getting lost in the forest moon of Ender. His screen was a sea of red errors, each one a skeleton dancing to a rhythm he couldn't quite comprehend. Coder Yoda appeared, his robes glowing softly in the digital haze. Remember, young Padawan, he said, his voice as soothing as a lullaby. Rushing through the dance of debugging brings only more skeletons. Obi-Wipe nodded, taking a deep breath. He knew better than to let frustration guide him. Instead, he focused on each line of code, each error message, as a clue to the mystery at hand. Patience you must have, Coder Yoda continued, for in patience lies the key to unraveling the tangled web of bugs. Obi-Wipe closed his eyes, taking a moment to regain his composure. He remembered the words of his mentor, and as he opened his eyes, he felt a sense of calm wash over him. He began to dance with the skeletons again, but this time, he danced with patience. You are doing well, Coder Yoda said, his voice filled with pride. But remember, learning is a continuous journey. As Obi-Wipe continued to dance, he felt a sense of understanding slowly dawning. He knew he wasn't there yet, but he was one step closer to mastery. And as the digital world around him faded away, he realized that his journey would continue long after he fell asleep. And so, Obi-Wipe drifted off to sleep, his dreams filled with the dance of debugging and the wisdom of Coder Yoda. Tonight, they danced with patience. But tomorrow, who knows what challenges awaited them? But with determination and knowledge, they would face them together. Good night, developers. May your dreams be filled with the Zen of debugging. Good evening, coding warriors. It's time for our nightly escapade into the magical world of code to sleep. Tonight, let's join Obi-Wipe as he continues his journey in mastering the Zen of debugging. As Obi-Wipe drifted off to sleep, visions of dancing with errors danced in his head. He dreamt a vast, sprawling coding forest, each tree adorned with glowing lines of code and leaves that whispered error messages. The wind rustled through the trees, carrying hints and clues about solving the complex coding problem that had led him here. Obi-Wipe found himself standing at the edge of this forest, feeling a sense of trepidation, but also excitement. He remembered Coder Yoda's advice to remain patient and view each error as a clue. So, he took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and stepped into the forest of code. As he walked deeper, each tree seemed to call out to him with its own unique error message. Obi-Wipe focused on one message at a time, delicately dancing around it, exploring every angle until he found the solution that lay hidden beneath. He knew that rushing would only lead him further astray, so he took his time and appreciated each error as another step towards solving the issue at hand. After much trial and error, Obi-Wipe finally reached the heart of the forest where a magnificent tree stood tall and proud. Its leaves shimmered with the perfect code solution that he had been seeking. He felt a great sense of accomplishment wash over him as he reveled in his newfound understanding of the Zen of debugging. But Coder Yoda's words echoed in Obi-Wipe's mind. Learning is a continuous journey. As he gazed up at the beautiful tree, he knew that this was just one battle in the grand war against coding challenges. He would have to return to the forest time and time again, honing his skills and practicing patience with each new error that crossed his path. With a smile on his face, Obi-Wipe closed his eyes and allowed himself to drift off to sleep once more, dreaming of future coding adventures and the wisdom they would bring. Until tomorrow, brave developers, keep calm and code on. Good evening, coders. Let's dive back into our dreams once more and rejoin our hero, Obi-Wipe, in the enchanted forest of codes. After finding that elusive solution hidden within the magnificent tree, he took a moment to admire his accomplishment, feeling a surge of satisfaction wash over him. But just as quickly, Coder Yoda's wise words echoed in his mind. Learning is a path. The destination is but a momentary pause before the journey continues. With renewed determination, Obi-Wipe turned to face another tree, this one shrouded in an ominous mist. A chill ran through his digital spine as he read the cryptic error message. Index out of range exception. Array subscript is beyond bounds. Taking a deep, calming breath, Obi-Wipe remembered the teachings from Coder Yoda about the importance of patience and understanding in debugging. He reminded himself that errors were merely opportunities to learn, and so he began his exploration once more. Navigating through the misty tree branches, he found a method named getRandomElement, with an empty array as its argument. The solution seemed clear. The program was trying to access an element at an index that didn't exist due to an empty array. Obi-Wipe smiled, feeling the satisfying rhythm of debugging flow through him like a soothing melody. He replaced the empty array with a properly initialized one and updated the code accordingly. The mist began to dissipate as the solution took effect. With a sense of accomplishment, he moved on to another tree, eager for more lessons in the Zen of debugging. As the wind whispered through the forest, his resolve remained unwavering. Each error was an opportunity for growth, and he would continue to seek wisdom in even the most elusive of glitches. Sleep tight, programmers. May your dreams be filled with enlightenment, and may you face every coding challenge with patience and determination. Part 14, the Zen of debugging. As Obi-Wipe ventured deeper into the enchanted forest, he stumbled upon a tangled mess of loops and of statements, a labyrinthine tangle that resembled his own spaghetti code on less productive days. A sudden chill ran down his spine as an eerie echo of Coder Yoda's voice rang out. Warning, A bug lies within the heart of this conundrum. Obi-Wipe steadied himself, remembering Yoda's teachings that every error was but a stepping stone to enlightenment. He approached the tangled mess with reverence, sensing that this would be no easy task. His fingers danced over the keyboard, each keystroke a contemplative prayer to the code gods above. As he delved into the heart of the error, Obi-Wipe encountered a creature he'd never seen before, an elusive beast known only as No Reference Exception. The creature slithered between his lines of code like quicksilver, leaving chaos in its wake. However, instead of fear or frustration, Obi-Wipe felt a strange sense of calm wash over him. He remembered Yoda's words, "Errors are opportunities to learn." With renewed determination, he set out on a quest to tame this elusive beast and restore harmony to the forest of codes. He began methodically tracing the creature's path through his code, following its trail of broken references like a seasoned tracker. After what felt like an eternity, Obi-Wipe located the source, an empty variable causing the chaos. With a soft smile, he whispered to the empty variable, "You have led me to the heart of this dilemma." And with that, he filled the void, restoring balance and peace to his code. The elusive beast, now tamed, slipped away into the shadows, leaving behind only the faint echo of its former presence. As Obi-Wipe watched his code him along without a hitch, he felt a deep sense of satisfaction. He knew that this was just one battle in an endless war against the unknown, but he also understood that every victory brought him closer to mastery. And so, Obi-Wipe continued on his journey through the enchanted forest, embracing each error as a chance for growth and learning. The Zen of Debugging whispered softly in his ear with every line of code he wrote, reminding him that patience, persistence, and understanding were the keys to unlocking the secrets of the universe. As sleep began to creep over Obi-Wipe's eyes, he closed his laptop, knowing that tomorrow would bring new challenges and opportunities for growth. And with a smile on his face, he drifted off into dreamland, ready to tackle whatever mysteries the enchanted forest had in store. Once again, the tranquil symphony of the enchanted forest rang in Obi-Wipe's ears, his fingers poised elegantly over the glowing keypad of his luminary staff. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a serene glow on the verdant canopy above, as if to bless his next challenge. For Obi-Wipe, every new bug was not just an obstacle, but a chance to hone his skills, a testament to the Zen of Debugging. He had vanquished one beast, the dreaded No Reference Exception, but he knew there would be others. Like a seasoned samurai, he welcomed each encounter, prepared for the dance of code and conundrum. This time, it was an elusive infinite loop that threatened to ensnare his code, twisting it into a knot of confusion. Obi-Wipe closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and focused, just like Coder Yoda had taught him. Every loop is a lesson. Every loop shall be conquered. He opened his eyes, and with the precision of a master, he traced each line of code in the loop, seeking the subtle flaw hidden within. It was a simple misplaced semicolon that had sent his program into an endless spin, a lesson learned in the fires of debugging. With a slight adjustment, he freed his code from the grip of the infinite loop, and harmony returned to his enchanted forest. As he continued his journey, Obi-Wipe knew that many more bugs awaited him, but he welcomed them with open arms, for each was a new lesson in the Zen of Debugging. And so, under the watchful eyes of the ancient trees and the wise words of Coder Yoda, Obi-Wipe's code flowed smoothly and his spirit remained calm. The enchanted forest had become a sanctuary for him, a realm where he could grow, learn, and find inner peace in the dance between man and machine. As the moon rose high above, casting long shadows on the earth, Obi-Wipe closed his eyes and let the rhythm of the forest lull him to sleep. The Zen of Debugging was a powerful force, one that guided him through the complexities of code and brought harmony to the digital realm. Good night, fellow developers. May you find solace in your own enchanted forest, and may the Zen of Debugging bring you wisdom and inner peace. Part 16, the Semicolon Symphony. As Obi-Wipe ventured deeper into the enchanted forest, He stumbled upon a clearing bathed in an eerie glow. The source was a colossal, pulsating semicolon, swaying rhythmically to its own beat. A symphony of code echoed through the air, and in that moment, Obi-Wipe recognized it as his next challenge. "Ah, a symphony of semicolons," said Obi-Wipe, rubbing his hands together in anticipation. This must be the work of an overzealous programmer who couldn't resist the allure of repetition. He approached the pulsating symbol, curious to see what mischief it had wrought. As he drew nearer, the semicolon began to dance more frantically, its rhythm growing faster, threatening to blur into a cacophony of chaos. Obi-Wipe felt his heart race, but instead of fear, he felt a familiar excitement. This was another opportunity to learn, another step in mastering the Zen of debugging. Taking a deep breath, Obi-Wipe closed his eyes and focused on the rhythmic dance of the semicolon. He imagined it as a line of code in his own program, its pulsations representing endless loops that threatened to consume his work. With renewed determination, he opened his eyes and stepped forward. Obi-Wipe approached the semicolon cautiously, analyzing its patterns. After a moment's contemplation, he spoke aloud. "You are but a symbol created to guide and structure my code. Yet you have become unruly and reckless. Let us find balance together." The semicolon seemed to pause in its dance, considering Obi-Wipe's words. Slowly, it began to slow down, returning to its steady pulse. Obi-Wipe moved closer, and with a swift, calm motion, he repositioned the semicolon in a more appropriate place within his mental representation of the code. The semicolon's glow grew dimmer as it settled into its new position, no longer threatening to disrupt the harmony of the enchanted forest. Obi-Wipe felt a sense of accomplishment wash over him, knowing he had once again navigated the digital realm with grace and wisdom. "You have taught me well, my semicolon friend," said Obi-Wipe, offering a gentle bow to the now tranquil symbol. "Though sometimes overlooked, you play an essential role in the dance between man and machine." With that, he continued deeper into the forest, ready for whatever challenges lay ahead on his journey through the Zen of debugging.